Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Let's Stay Gamers, and welcome. So today we're taking a look at another beautiful creation from the Steam Workshop. Now, this is the Daybreak created by Rose, and I have to say, it is by far one of the favourite vehicles that I've had a look at to this day. Now let's go around the exterior, we'll do a bit of an exterior tour, then we'll pop inside, get this thing moving, and I'll show you some of the beautiful interior aspects of it as well. So having a look around the exterior, the first thing you'll notice is a combination of both a small ship and large ship blocks. Now this is easily achieved by using the rotor trick. So if you can see here, we've got the rotors that are attaching the two blocks area, creating that really nice railing effect, and if you use it correctly you can create a lot of detailing, because in my personal opinion I feel like large ships can lack a lot of detail if you don't go into it, and this is just a great way of adding a lot of detail and doing it quite easily. In functionality scale, it can cause some performance issues though. So down at the first track sort of segment, we have got this little outcropped area that you can see. Now this added a little bit of protection to the wheels, and it kind of gives them that track type feeling that I believe they're looking for. Now coming around the front area here, we'll have the two spotlights on either side, these cool little observation cameras that are at various points around the place, and this part here is actually the windows in the cockpit. So you can see we've got the large ship cockpit glassed in the background, surrounded by this sort of frame that just kind of gives it this really nice reinforced type nature. So let's continue working our way along the side. So to come up here, the first thing you'll notice on the side is this large crane. Now this crane is like a grappling hook that can be used to pick up various different items and whatnot. We'll have to give that a go in a minute or two. Down below we actually have the elevator that I'll show you when we get aboard this thing, but look at the detail, and it's a very simplistic sort of system, but at the same time it is very advanced how it uses two rotors to stabilize the lift into position. Now moving a little bit further back, you can see we've got some of the internal track type detail there, with the wheels being added there to cushion the blow of the suspension, moving up and down. A cool little concept. And then up in this area you can see we've got these cool little vents that have been added to this side. They're a small block, but they're, like I said before, them small blocks can add a lot of detail to design. So there's a cool little spotlight that just pans back and forth, really useful on a dark night. So coming around the back, we have ourselves another one of the cameras. At the rear we have ourselves this cool little lowering lift that I'll show you when we do the interior part of the tour, and each side of these is a very detailed segment combining large ship blocks with the small ship blocks, and it just looks lovely. We've got the thrusters, iron thrusters up here, as well as the planetary thrusters inside. Very cool indeed. Now working our way around this side, it is ever so slightly different. It's not in the rear area, but in this area we have a little bit of a catwalk that leads us into the med bay section, and that is pretty much it. Now looking at the top deck, we have ourselves these really cool type radar sort of satellite dishes that are at various different points. So you've got this one, just look at the detailing that's gone into that. We've got the Gatling gun that's been disassembled to look like some sort of spire at the end, as well as the lighting, and it's just panning very slowly across. You could just imagine it receiving signals. In this area we've got like some sort of smokestack. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be damaged, but it does add some sort of immersion into the experience. In this little section it looks like we've got ourselves a little bit of a drone, maybe a recon drone to check out the surrounding area. We've got the NE logo that this ship or this vehicle belongs to, and below that we have ourselves, I'm guessing this is some form of landing bay, but having a closer look you can see there's actually a lot of detailing going on in this section. You can see how it's staggered up, and these are actually on rotors, so these will probably raise out and activate little landing pads. Very cool indeed. Now at the rear section again we have this, and I think this is so cool. You have to tell me in the comment section what you think of it as well. These are little fans, so the fans spin around in there, getting the exhaust gases out, keeping the reactors cool. Just a bit of imagination. And there's that other antenna I was talking about there. Let's attempt to get aboard this ship. So the first thing we want to do is get our character down to ground level. And I am a fan of lifts. They're not super functional in Space Engineers, purely for the factor that you've got a jetpack and if you keep your hydrogen full. So we'll close the guard gate. It means that we could just fly up there, and it's far faster. But if you're in a situation where you're likely to run out of hydrogen, press that,
can raise these ramps up here as well on that side if we want to. As we're doing this, we'll go over here and activate the gates. So let's just have a look at ourselves rise up on that platform. It's just very cool. It definitely looks like it could fit a vehicle on board as well. So you could drive your vehicle in, or you could just pick your vehicle up with the giant claw itself. Now, when I test drove this vehicle, it drives very differently than you'd expect. I was really hoping they'd set it up with the AWS and D keys, but you actually have to use buttons instead to accelerate it. But I'll go into that when we get into that segment. So as we come up to the top area, we have to raise the gate guard, and we can now step onto the craft. So we've got a little telly, a little 2 screens there. We've got some access to the rear reactors if we need to do any maintenance. That I think is pretty cool. We will pop into the engine room first. So into here we go. We've got access into the lights on that panel. It's very simplistic, the engine room. It's not where the detail kind of relies, but you've got the reactors and it simulates the size of an engine. You've also got the fans up there keeping it cool. I do like indeed. So we'll pop ourselves out into this section and we'll come around here. Now, accessing this little side door takes us inside. We have the production unit up here. That is just a collection of the refineries like we saw on the roof. A little bit of desk and a bit of information showing what's being produced. So can we go back through here? I believe the automatic door system is on. And as that produces different materials, it follows this pipe down through the ceiling above, and we enter into the sort of med bay or infirmary. We've got various different settings here. We can obviously turn the lights on and off. We can close the windows behind us, secure it up a little bit. And we can also toggle the spotlight on and off if we wish to. Very cool indeed. So as we head into this section, just look at this room. This is like the crew quarters. I can only imagine different briefings going on in here. All the crew just eating the food. We've got a little terminal to make communications with, and they've got the various bunks down the side. Something we've seen a lot of this. This is an LCD monitor just turned upside down, and it looks much like a bed. We've got the cryo beds that I believe it is 5 in total, so it's ready for 5 crew members. Very nice indeed. As we come into this section, we enter into the rear lift. So we enter through this longer shaft, and then we press this, deoxygenize everything, and here we go. We're in the rear segment. So to activate this, it's as simple as hitting that. You can see the little gate seals up like so. So it keeps the people on the vehicle safe as they're coming down. And then all we need to do is head to the rear of the vehicle, and it's fully automated. So it's definitely just a personnel lift. This, you won't be fitting anything more than a few astronauts on there, but still another great way of picking space engineers up and down. You can also access it from here as well if you're on the ground. Very, very cool indeed. So let's teleport ourselves back up to the bridge area. So we'll spawn ourselves into here, get our legs under control, and as we head down here, we actually head into the cockpit itself. Now, the cockpit of this ship I find to be really beautiful. Just let the air repressurize everything for a second. There we go. And you can see the seating is actually suspended with the small ship blocks from the ceiling itself. And in the lower area, you've got the same going on again. So you've got various different drive-ins showing the horizon, and then you've got the power status, various different reactors, as well as a 3D map. Now, I'm not too sure about all the programming blocks giving you all this information on the speed. I always feel it slows your game down a little bit. You have to let me know what you think about things like this in the comment section below. Anyway, let's get control of it. So to get control of it, we need to type control in. Let's have a look. There we go. They've got the crane control if you want to control that. But let's actually try the crane control first. So let's control that, and let's hope for the love of God it's a WS&D type 1, but I'm kind of hoping it. Oh yeah, okay, it's a WS&D crane, so that means it's great. We've got a lot of functionality about it, and if we go into there, crane block run. Okay, well, let's have a look at the other controls. Rotors locks. Okay, perfect. So if we turn ourselves to a number 4, we can open the claws. Oh, that thing's quite scary, isn't it? Really is quite sort of worrying. Imagine getting trapped, like sort of trapped between them claws and crushed. I wonder if you can actually grip anything though, because most of these cranes in Space Engineers, they don't seem to function too well. Let's turn our rotor lock off and see if we can move it any further. So yeah, I've got limited movement up and down on the arm, but it is enough to do some sort of basic usage. So let's open that and close that up. I really like the design of that. It'd be cool to change that into a mining or some sort of repair type arm as well. So we'll go back into the seat, and now we'll get this thing running. So we'll enter the control option again, and we'll get control of the main craft. So hit control. And now this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. We have the auto drive timer. We need to first trigger it. So we press number 1. That triggers the auto drive mode. We're going to get ourselves outside so we can do everything. And then secondly, we're going to trigger the speed up. If Orange does this right, this is what I think is a little bit complicated about this one. We've got the auto drive timer triggered. Yes. Then we've got the speed up we need to trigger. We need to take the parking brake off. And we also need to activate the driving mode. Okay, so handbrake off. Yes, we're underway. Let's activate steering. That's number 4. If we can. Let's go back to 9. Number 4. Oh no, what was that? That didn't sound good, did it? So there we go. We've got ourselves some basic control with the rover itself. Let's double check one more time that number 4 is the activate driving. Yes, it is. So why won't it let me turn? Oh, there we go. Now it's turning. Lovely. Look at that. Let's get control of the camera again. So you can just see it has such presence like over the terrain. You can just imagine it like you see it coming over the sort of horizon in the distance and you're like, wow, what the hell is that thing? I mean, the turning radius of it is absolutely appalling, but I'm guessing it's got some quite good off-road performance. Still not a super functional ship, but was it designed to be one? Probably not. It was designed to just look lovely, and just look at the suspension traverse as well. Let's quickly grab control of it once more. We'll even out the wheels, and then we'll put some terrain in front of it just to see what we can do with it. So let's grab ourselves the voxel tool. We'll pop ourselves out the cockpit, grab ourselves the voxel tool if we can. So out the cockpit as we're rolling along. Oh, it's a lovely little first-person perspective. You can't really see much because you're looking at the ground, but let's have a look. Oh god, I left the lift down at the back. That's what all the banging was. Right, voxel tools. Let's build ourselves some little lumps for it to struggle to get over. Let's put one of them right over its front wheel here. Let's just have a look at that. Let's see if it can do anything. Oh damn, it's decided to miss it. I think it's still turning ever so slightly. Let's have a look at that. Let's see what happens when it hits it. Will it traverse it? Oh, perfect. That's really cool. Maybe it can traverse something a little bit steeper if we do something a little bit meaner to it. Maybe let's oh, that's too high, Aaron. I think that'll just break it off, to be fair. There we go. Let's try it anyway. So that part's going over the terrain really nicely. That part of the track is as well. Oh, I love a good bit of suspension. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. There's going to be a link to this in the description below. If you want to check it out, of course, click on the link. You'll be taken to the Steam page. And let me know what you'd like to see me cover in next week's Spotlight. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.